Welcome to A Closer Look. Social workers help people cope with some of the challenges they are facing in their lives. Today, we're going to take a closer look at what it takes to be a social worker. From the Chesapeake Human Services Department, please welcome Elise Pugh, Adult Services Program Manager, and Cheryl Upton, Family Services Supervisor. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
having us.
So tell me about your specific job and why you chose a career in social work.
Okay, I am the program manager for the adults program. I'm responsible for program supervision and development of adult protective services, adult services, the job work center, and the intake unit. I have been in the field of social work for over 30 years. I've always had a passion for helping others. Social work provides you an opportunity to empower others, to advocate for them, and to make positive changes in lives.
And basically, for myself, I first of all, Cheryl Upton, and I'm with the VIEW program and run the VIEW program and the SNAP It program, the Family Service Supervisor. And I would say over the last 30 years, somewhat similar to what Elise was saying, you know, it's just caring for people. It's wanting to see them elevate or evolve, you know, from where they are to trying to get them to a better standard of life. And so I think the biggest thing for me was to help people to see their lives transformed. And I think with us going into that field, you have to have some type of compassion for people, you know, and all of us can look at within our families and see people that have had, you know, situations that have kind of sparked us to say, you know, we want to go into this field. So every job opportunity has always been centered around helping someone that's less fortunate, that's, you know, out there and just needs somebody to care for them and someone, as she said, to advocate for them, because a lot of times people don't have that and they feel that, you know, nobody cares, nobody loves me, nobody wants me, because they've seen that cycle in their lives. And so if we can step up and kind of be the superhero, so to speak, you know, not that we are, but we can make some changes in their lives.
Absolutely, and I would think, you know, you're dealing with people who are not necessarily in a great time in their life. They have challenges and they need the services that you're able to provide.
Yes.
So I know the Human Services has a role in a lot of programs and services. Can you tell me about some of those? I know you mentioned the ones that you work directly in, but are there others?
Well, with the, I would say I'm going to talk about the VIEW program and the SNAP It program. And the VIEW program actually started 23 years ago when under President Clinton administration, where he had signed the Reformation Act to help the people to do something to get, it's almost like get paid for doing something instead of just a check handed out to you. But it's a program that our initiative is for education and work. We took that word welfare out of that, that acronym, so that we can focus on educating them, training them, and getting them stable by getting them a job. Where it'll become more than just a job, but a career. And so that helps to stabilize not just them, but stabilize their family, to prevent them from going into the other programs that we have, such as Child Protective Service, in which Elisa talked more about that. And then we have the SNAP It, and this is the one that's for those people that don't have dependents under 18, but still need some type of assistance. And it's really, we focus on the education and training. So that's the direction that we go. We help them with supportive services. We help try to move out every barrier we can. It's almost like move out every excuse that, you know, that someone would give you. So these programs help with transportation, laptops for education. We help with their clothing. We have, whichever way, we help prepare them with job readiness. So within the program, we have job readiness, where we're preparing them how to become ready for the job. So it's really good programs that we have. And then, you know, if other things go on, then that's where, you know, the program manager comes in with other, we try to do wraparound services, you know, because if we do have a person comes in and they have a situation, could be a child welfare situation that's going on, we try to sit at the table and try to do the best thing for the customer. We call ours customers. And so we try our best to do what's going to come out good for the entire family. I think one of the things that we try to implement in all of our programs, we try to implement the city that does care. And if we say we're the city that care, we're the representation of the city. And so that means we have to make sure we're courteous with the people, responsible, and we're really trying to, help them, because at the end of the day, they don't see the whole city; they see us as a representation of that. Exactly. Yeah, with that. So
well, it certainly sounds like you are showing that you do care, and I agree that training and education is key, because you're also building that self-esteem that somebody wants to go out and they feel better about themselves.
Yes, and
that leads to other things.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, we also have Adult Protective Services. They investigate allegations of abuse and neglect for adults. We have long-term care screenings for care in the home as well as nursing facilities. We offer foster homes for adults and children, and we are always looking for good foster parents and providers. We have the Homeless Resource Center for the homeless to provide them with resources to stabilize their situation. We also have Child Protective Services. They investigate allegations of abuse and neglect of children. April, in fact, is Child Abuse Prevention Month. We are asking for the community and family support to keep our children safe and well. We offer preventative services to assist families, to support them, and to alleviate abuse and neglect.
So how has the pandemic affected some of these programs and services?
The pandemic has affected how we do our business, but it has not affected the services we provide. Our staff are required to use PPEs. We are practicing social distancing. We are teleworking to minimize the amount of people in the office. And we're also using Zooms and Teams for trainings and meetings. So it has changed how we do business quite a bit.
So clients or customers would be able to utilize the virtual, I guess, computers and things like that as well to do appointments and things like that.
Right. Yes, and like you said, with the pandemic, it has affected us as far as being able to see more of our customers face to face. So we've had to revamp. We had to put some strategies together to make sure that I think the key thing was that the customer is still getting the same quality of service.
Exactly.
It might not be the face-to-face, but at least we want to make sure that the quality of our service is still consistent prior to the pandemic. And so we don't do the face-to-face on the VIEW side. Majority of all the different aspects of social service right now, we have to do pretty much where we're working with them virtually. And so my gang even just this morning had said, okay, I just got to think outside the box. I just got to get creative.
You got to be creative.
And
it's forced us all to be creative. Absolutely.
But it has been wonderful. Of course, we're not serving as many as we would outside of the pandemic. But the ones we are they've been so successful, and it's just phenomenal, that just to see majority of the ones we're serving are actually working or they're into some type of educational compartment. And that is really good because our partners, we've come together with a lot of, partners now. And I think the pandemic has pushed us to network more, to collaborate, not just amongst the community, but even within social service, where we're taking down the silos and meaning I need you, I need your service as well. So,
and that's
I would say just in a nutshell, it just is the quality of service is still there, might not be the face-to-face, but we're still giving the quality of service.
And most of our mandated services are still doing face-to-face visits. So some are not doing face-to-face and some are making face-to-face visits.
So would you say maybe a challenge would be, and you talked a little bit about reporting abuse. Has that been a difficult, or what has been the challenge with that, with the pandemic?
I would say that the pandemic has created social isolation. So we're not getting some of the reports that we would normally get from the schools because the children are not in schools. So we are asking for the community and neighbors, if you see something, call us. We are available 24/7 and report abuse and neglect.
Because like you said, the downside of people are isolated.
Yeah.
And they, are used to the socialization, whether it's at work or
Exactly.
school. And
Even our adults program, we have a lot of customers that are isolated, and it has increased the number of neglect cases that we're receiving. Because they're afraid to have services coming to the home.
Sure.
The fear of contracting COVID.
okay. Yeah, that definitely is a challenge.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the qualities that people should have to seek a career in social work? Obviously, you have expressed that you have to want to work with others and care about others.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say the number one thing is you have to love people. You really do. If you don't have a love for people and a love to want to help people, it is the wrong field. It really is. Of course, you can get the education, but it's almost like getting the education, but you have no feeling.
Right.
It's just to get the education and, I'll go into this field. This field, when you look at it monetarily, it's not going to be where you're going to make this huge, salary
gonna
or
get
whatever.
rich.
You're not going
You're
to
not gonna
get rich
get
off
rich.
it, on that side. But you will get rich off of the fact that you made a difference
Exactly.
in a family's life, in a adult's life, in a child's life. And I think the rewards that we get is outside of this world, and it's like you're sowing such a great seed,
Right.
and you don't know when you're going to reap that in your own life. And so I just have always looked at, my compassion and just having the passion. And you have to have those qualities, and you have to put humans' lives over everything else, And I think that's how I would sum it up, is to have a love for people, want to see change in people's lives,
Yes.
And to be a part of that change.
Right.
And be sincere and also be a person of integrity. I think character goes further than anything. And I think, we can have the alphabets behind our names.
Right.
But if our character is not there, people can tell if you're authentic.
Right.
People
Yeah.
can tell you really care. You're really genuine. And they've said that. They probably, I'm sure, have said to Ms. Pugh the same thing. You're genuine. I mean,
Right.
you really care about me. And I
Yes.
think that's, I think the caring, I think the sharing, but I think, if you don't have a formula,
Right.
or robotic, can mechanically do this and just be a genuine person that wants to help make a difference in
Right.
someone's life. So I would say that's some of the qualities, and I would say part of why I chose to just always be in a field that deals with working with humans, human services. And I think just having a caring attitude, but loving people. I really,
Yeah.
I would sum it like that, Karen, is
Yeah.
just,
Loving others.
loving
and-
others, considering them, putting ourselves, on the back burner, and it comes around. It
Yeah.
cycles around.
Yes,
It
Yeah.
cycles around.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
Yeah. Social work is a rewarding career, and but it's also challenging. So if you don't have that passion for helping others, it's going to be very hard to succeed in the field. And you have to have empathy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You have to be able to put yourself in another person's place and to be able to provide caring, understanding, and empowering experience.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like both of you have that passion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really does. So if someone wants to learn more about social work or human services or how to become a social worker, where should they go?
They can go to the city's website,
Okay.
cityofchesapeake.net, under Human Services.
Okay.
They can also visit us. We're located at 100 Outlaw Street. Our phone number is 757-382-2000.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you stopping by to give us a little bit of an insight in what it's like to be a social worker. I really
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
for
Thank you for
having us.
having us. We appreciate that.
We have to take a quick break, but up next, we'll learn about a database that may help save lives. Don't go away.